Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the following presentation of the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network for Wheaton College Volleyball. We got a good one for you here tonight, folks, between the Wheaton Thunder and the Calvin Knights. And even though this isn't a CCIW game, it's an incredibly important one for the Thunder as they will be taking on the number 4 team in the country in their home opener. As we're hearing the starting lineups for Wheaton. Coming into this game, Wheaton has played 3 already so far in the Warhawk Invite hosted by UW Whitewater. There they went 2-1, winning their first game against Rose Holman and dropping their last 2 against Lakeland University and UW Whitewater. So far early in the season, Wheaton has definitely been tested as UW Whitewater, number 9 in the nation. Definitely a tough game, but hopefully a game they can come in and get some experience against some of these top-rated teams.
Well, Dominic, we should be in for a fun one tonight. I'm excited to see what this Wheaton Thunder roster can do early on in this season against a national powerhouse. Number 4, Calvin, coming in 3-0 in the season, already 2 wins over top teams in the top 11 in the country. So they are building that resume early on under head coach Amber Warners. We'll see what Coach Schmidt's side can do on home floor tonight. In their history, they've never even won a set against the Calvin Knights. So if they can avoid the sweep, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Yes, should be in for a fun home opener this evening. Definitely
a bit of a lopsided history. This is only about the second time that Calvin has come to King Arena, so hopefully the tides turn here with Wheaton having the home court advantage. As you heard earlier, starting tonight for Wheaton, Caroline Capps coming in an outside hitter, as well as number 7, Lacey Higgins, will be in as the setter tonight. Number 1, Katie Stotts, will be in as the libero. And Emerson Treyweek in as the other outside hitter. Her and Capps were a deadly duo last year, producing most of Wheaton's offense.
Lacey Higgins will come back to serve first for the Thunder tonight. She's going to be key to the production of this Thunder attack. Got 47 assists in that season-opening win against Rose Holman.
Absolutely. She's going to have to be the captain of this team, directing a lot of the offense. Higgins almost set with the serve, and we are underway here at King Arena. She'll send it over, be dug out by number 11, Ekins. She'll send it back over to the Wheaton side. Bump set there by Higgins, sent over. Recovered there by number 19, Vanderwag. Set up, sent over to the side for number 5, and there's going to be the first kill at King Arena this year. There by number 19, for number 5, Bree Gilbert. Wheaton takes another 1-0 lead. Over to the side for number 5, and there's going to be the first.
They're getting the decisive touch, sending a message early on to the heavily favored Knights. That's a strong point from Wheaton to open this thing up.
Higgins will send it over again, and there's going to be an error on number 19 for the Knights, Vanderwag.
Yeah, that one almost looked like it swerved in midair. A difficult one to receive there off the serve. Good serve there from Lacey Higgins to put Wheaton up by 2.
Absolutely. Wheaton will not say no to a 2-0 start here against the number 4 nationally ranked team. Higgins on a roll a bit, will send it over. It's going to be dug out there by Vanderwag, sent over to the Wheaton side, covered by Trick, sent over by Capps, be dug out there by number 19, and there's going to be another kill for the Thunder. I believe that was Caroline Capps with the tap.
She made that look easy as we see her on the replay, almost a basketball putback, just getting up above the net and tipping it right back where it came from. This has been a great start for the home side.
Absolutely. Thunder on a roll here. Sent over by Higgins. Set up there by number 6, DeVries. Sent over by Gilbert, and there's going to be a rejection there at the net. That's going to be number 21, Kellogg, for the Knights.
Unfortunately, it did fall out of play just wide of the line, so it's actually going to be a point for Wheaton, going up by 4-0. And head coach Amber Warners has seen enough an early timeout here for the Knights. Not the start that the favored team we were hoping for coming into King Arena.
Absolutely. Definitely surprising for Wheaton. Even when things appear to go wrong, they look like they're going right for the home team.
We talked about Calvin's tough opening of the schedule, already big wins over Barry and Transylvania. For Wheaton, as you hinted at the top of the broadcast, you can't have a much more difficult start to the schedule than playing Whitewater and Calvin back-to-back. So a couple of early learning experiences for Coach Schmidt's side. They've got a good blend of returning players as well as youth coming into the program this year. So they'll take a lot of confidence from this start regardless of how the set plays out.
Absolutely, and all of this even before conference play gets going. They're able to build their experience so they can make an impact in the CCIW this year. Lots of returning players mentioned earlier, Treywick and Caps, production on the offense, as well as Higgins. Katie Stott, a returning player, but definitely stepping up into a larger role this year with senior Allie High graduating last season.
Allie High, one of 3 new assistant coaches on the bench this year, working with head coach Stephanie Schmidt.
Absolutely.
So some change in the coaching staff as well as the roster. We'll see what kind of production that can yield for Wheaton as the season progresses.
Absolutely. I'm sure her leadership will be much appreciated. Higgins will send it over. It'll be dug out by the libero for Calvin. Sent over there by number 21, Kellogg, and that's going to be out on Treywick.
That's the sign of a good team, being able to bounce back, taking a well-timed timeout from Coach Warners, and Calvin making no mistake at that point, determined not to fall behind by 5 early on.
Absolutely. So we'll see number 6, DeVries, taking the first serve here for Calvin.
I think we just got a stoppage over there at the scorer's table. One of the referees checking something with maybe the statisticians down there. Buys us a little bit extra time up here on the broadcast.
Yeah, and there we go to resume play. DeVries over with the serve. It'll be dug out by Stott. Set up there by Higgins. Treywick with the bump over. Be dug out there by Calvin. Sent and rejected at the rim, but it's going to be out.
That's a needed break right there for the Knights at the net with Wheaton trying to go up and over. And one of the toughest things to do when you're an underdog is to regain some momentum that you lost against a really good favored team. So I'm interested to see how Wheaton play these next couple of points, trying to avoid giving up that 4-0 lead.
It'll be a tough test. DeVries sending it over, dug out by Stott. Set there by Higgins. Cap sent it over, rejected at the rim. It's going to be number 8, Martinez. There for the Knights.
No doubt about it there from Vanessa Martinez. That was a powerful rejection, already leading this Calvin team with 19 blocks on the year. That was number 20.
Yep, and 14 kills to boot. DeVries will send it over again. It'll be dug out by Treywick. Set up by Higgins, sent over by Caps. Dug out there by number 6, DeVries. Sent over by number 21, Kellogg. He sent over there, and Caps will get the kill.
Bright start to this one for Caroline Caps, making her presence felt on the offensive end.
Really one of the offensive leaders of this team last year, and she'll be set back to serve for Wheaton with a 5-3 lead here in this first set. Caps will send it over. It's going to be dug out by number 8, Martinez, tapped over lightly by Calvin. Set there by Higgins, sent again over by Faith Bailey, the center. Bit of a messy recovery by Calvin, but they get it over. Treywick sent over, and it's going to be rejected. That strong front for Calvin coming through with number 18, Ekblad.
Sometimes you don't do a whole lot wrong as the offensive team. You just got to tip your cap to the opponents. Calvin had that one smothered on the far side of the net. That was great defending from the Knights.
Absolutely. Some of their mid-blockers coming in very strong to start for Calvin. Ray will send it over for Calvin. Set up by Higgins. Sent over by Treywick. And that's going to be beautiful placement by Treywick for her first kill of the night.
Cannot ask for better placement, as you said. There was nothing Calvin could do to cover that back corner of the court. Great placement there from the junior.
And so far, Wheaton responding well to Calvin's attack. Stotts will be back to serve. Barrow will send it over. Will be dug out by number 11, Ekins. Sent over by Calvin. Number 10, Raymond. Sent over by Gilbert. Dug out there by DeVries, sent over by Calvin again. Saved by Higgins. Nice play by Treywick to save that one from being a Calvin kill. Sent over, and that's going to be a diving play there by Higgins for the save. Sent over again. Nice play by Caps. The volley continues. Treywick will send it over for the attempt, and that's going to be out. Tough finish for an overall beautiful volley.
You said it, Dominic. That's an unfortunate way for the point to end. I'm not sure we'll see a higher quality rally between these two teams all night. That was some excellent volleyball on both sides of the floor.
Definitely diving plays by Higgins and a great dig there by Caroline Capps on the Wheaton end. Calvin with a 6-5 deficit. I believe that'll be number 7, Jordan Steen, taking the serve for the Knights. Steen will send it over. It'll be dug out by Trewick, set by Higgins, sent over by Gilbert, dug out there by DeVries. I believe that's going to be out of bounds there on the error for Calvin, and another Wheaton point.
A little bit of sloppiness here from the favorites early on for Calvin, to take nothing away from the way Wheaton is playing. They have started this game exactly how they would have wanted to.
Absolutely. He sent over by Gilbert, and there's going to be an error.
It's a little curse of the commentator there. I hyped the team up, and then they commit an error.
No. Service error for number 5, Gilbert. Hopefully we'll see only few of those tonight. It's a team like Calvin, not a lot of room for error. Number 19, Trine Vanderwag will be back for the service for the Knights. She will send it over. It's going to be dug out, and there's going to be another error for Gilbert. Tough sequence for number 5.
Yeah, and Calvin has come back to tie this match up after being down 4-0 early. A great response from the 4th-ranked team in the country.
Yep. Wheaton still definitely in it, though. Still time to recover. 19, Vanderwag will send it over again. That'll be dug out by Stotts. Set up nicely by Higgins. Sent over by Trewick. Be set by Roboul for Calvin. Set up by attempted save for Higgins at the net. It's still going. It'll be sent over by number 5, and that's going to be a beautiful kill for number 5, Aaron Baker, one of the top scorers for this Calvin team.
Wheaton just sort of delaying the inevitable on that point. It felt like Calvin had it under control, and it was just a matter of time before they hit it down on Wheaton's side of the net. Good reflex play there by Ashton Major, though, in the middle of the point to keep it alive. Baker,
53 kills coming into this game. Set up there. Gilbert will send it over, and that's going to be rejected at the net. It was a combination of Baker and, I believe, number 10, Negagun.
Interesting decision here by head coach Stephanie Schmidt just to let this set play on. Obviously, Calvin has got the momentum on their side now, coming up with a 2-point lead. She's trusting her players on the court to figure this thing out.
See if Wheaton can turn it around. Higgins with the set. It will be over to number 9, Major. Capps with a beautiful save there. The setup from Calvin. Sent over by number 10, Nangum. Sent over by Trewick. Nice diving play there by Roboul. Sent over lightly, and that's going to be a nice touch from Baker, going with the soft touch as opposed to the diving Trewick.
We're seeing the technical strength of this Calvin team coming to the fore right now. That was, as you said, Aaron Baker right near the net, just tipping it over into the empty space. No need to get fancy with it sometimes. All the light touches, that's all that's needed.
Yep, it's like correction with Bree Gilbert on the dive. So we see Calvin has recovered a bit of momentum here. What can Wheaton do to respond to this Calvin onslaught so far?
I think some of it may just be mental. I think you got to believe that you can hang with this team. We saw a really positive start there for the Thunder to get 4-0. Tough to not be the first team to hit double digits when you build up that early sort of lead. So I think just staying focused, handling the fundamentals, all it takes is a couple of points to swing it your way when the game's this close. So we'll see what kind of response Wheaton can have coming out of this timeout.
Absolutely. So far, Calvin has been very strong up front. Wheaton will definitely need to try to level their attack, maybe towards the back, see if they can find some success.
This Calvin team hasn't been seriously tested so far this year. They played on the road against Transylvania, I believe, who was ranked number 8 at the time. That's a tough test, but they were able to pass that with flying colors, winning in 4 sets. So Wheaton trying to be the first of 4 teams this year to really push Calvin and make them work for it. But the Knights just showed really classy response out of that first time out to dig themselves out of an early hole.
As well as an upset from Barry, Calvin has definitely earned the number 4 next to their name in the standings. Number 19, Vanderwag, will be on the serve for the Knights. She'll send it over. That'll be dug out by Stotts. Set up there by Higgins. Trewick sent over, and that's going to be a kill for Emerson Trewick.
Powerful finish right there from the junior. She came into this one tied with Caroline Capps for 33 kills as the team lead so far early on in this season. We see why on a play like that.
And that's the response you want to have. Trewick will send over with the serve. It's going to be dug out by Roboul. Set up there by Calvin. and that's going to be off of the post there. I believe that'll be a point for Calvin.
Yeah, Aaron Baker once again with the finishing touch. It did look like a couple Wheaton players got close to tipping it defensively. Not much you can do to stop that finish, though.
Libero Aubrey Roboul will be on for the service for Calvin. Just send it over. That'll be dug out there by Gilbert. Sent over by Caps, and that's going to be another kill for Caroline Caps.
Wheaton's number 10 on fire right now. Calvin struggling to defend her, especially in that left-sided attack. That's a much-needed point for the Thunder.
Wheaton simply refusing to go away. It'll be the freshman Ashton Major on the service, and there's going to be an ace for Ashton Major.
That one deceived me sitting up here. It looked like it might be headed for the net. It had just enough power to get over and the perfect amount of dip as the Calvin player dove to the floor to try to save it.
And Wheaton's within one. Major again, and that one's going to hit the net for a service error.
Major obviously taking a break from the team last year. She played in 2021, and that was a feature of her game. It was kind of feast or famine with the serve. She was alternate hot and cold from that position, and we see a great example of that with the last point.
Yes, hopefully she can get hot so that Wheaton can get on a run here. Looks like there's going to be another stop of play over at the stats booth. All right, number 11. Ekins will be on the serve. Will be dug out, and it's going to be an Aaron dig there for Treywick.
Yeah, and you asked me, take nothing away from the serve, but you asked me what Wheaton could do to stay in this game and find a good response. That's an example of one of those fundamental aspects you just got to get right, the reception on the serve there to keep it alive, give yourself a chance to win the point.
It definitely looked like Treywick cut off someone else there. A few more delays at the stats table. We're good now. It'll be sent over by Calvin. Dug out there by Gilbert. Set by Higgins. Caps will send it over again. And Caroline Caps has been the Wheaton's bread and butter tonight.
Volleyball is a team sport, but if I'm in the Wheaton huddle right now, I'm saying getting the ball to Caroline because she is on fire right now.
Absolutely. Higgins will send it over for the Wheaton serve. Dug out by Roboul. Set up there by DeVries. Sent back over by Wheaton. And it'll be dug out. Nice play there from number 11, Autry, as Wheaton was able to save it. Calvin now setting up. The kill attempt from number 21, Kellogg. And that's going to be a nice play there by number 8, Martinez on the Calvin side.
Yeah, I think she was tired of waiting around. That rally had gone on long enough. It was set up perfectly for her, and she saw the empty space to exploit.
Really great angle on the ball as well. Calvin returning with the service. Be DeVries again. DeVries will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Caps. Set up by Higgins, sent over by Gilbert. Nice placement, but a diving play there by Calvin. And there's going to be a diving save by Stott, but it's not going to be good enough, because I believe it goes out of bounds.
You see here on the replay, Stotts and Gilbert kind of colliding midair. I don't know that they would have been able to make that save anyway, but that's not the first time tonight we've seen two Wheaton players come together. Maybe a little bit of communication error to work out here for the home side.
Hopefully Wheaton can get back on track. Currently trailing 15-11 here in this first set.
Yeah, Katie Stotts will take a break on the sideline there, coming up limping after that tough challenge. Ashton Major coming in to replace her. Certainly hope Stotts is okay and can return later this evening.
And she'll be key if Wheaton is going to have a chance in this one. DeVries will send it over again. That'll be dug out there by Autry. Sent over by Gilbert. Nice velocity on that one. Be sent back over by Calvin. Dug out there by Higgins. Sent over by Caps. Dug out by DeVries. Set up Roboul. And that's going to be a kill. Oh, nope, it was out of bounds. Out of bounds there for number 18, Ekbla.
Attack error there from the Knights as Wheaton comes up with a much-needed point. They're doing well just to stay in this game. Obviously, Calvin's still with a 3-point lead, but there's been a couple of times where it felt like the Knights could have pulled away, and the Thunder haven't allowed them to do that just yet.
Absolutely good grit we see here from the Thunder. Caps sending it over. So Calvin there. That'll be number 21, Kellogg, on the return and dig. Higgins to Treywick. Dug out by Roboul. Set up again. Kellogg again for the kill attempt, and she'll get it. Gabrielle Kellogg with a kill for the Knights, and it'll be a 16-12 lead.
Stotts checking back in defensively for the Thunder, which will help as Calvin begins to build a little bit of momentum here in the first set.
Good to see. Martinez will be back for the service. Dug up by Trewick, set up by Higgins, sent over by Bailey, and a nice play by Faith Bailey.
Beautiful placement right there from number 6. She was named to the all-tournament team at that season-opening Warhawk invite up in Wisconsin this weekend. Plays like that, we see why.
Absolutely finding open real estate there on Calvin's side. Katie Stotts will be back for service. She'll send it over. Be dug out by Calvin. Sent over by number 10, Mangum. Be tipped at the net. Set up again. Sent over by Calvin. Dug out by Higgins. It's going to be both Caps and Stotts on the play, and Gilbert's going to send it into the net.
Yeah, another little issue there between Stotts and Caps. Just a miscommunication, both players going for the ball. It looks like Stotts had it covered and Caps tried to make a play all the same. So some technical errors early on here for Wheaton, kind of shooting themselves in the foot on the defensive end. We'll see if they can straighten that out as this matching continues.
On the Calvin end, Aaron Baker returns to the game, as well as number 7, Jordan Steen. Steen will be the one who will be on service. Steen will send it over. That's going to be dug out by Stotts. Set up there by Gilbert. Trewick on the other side, and there's a beautiful kill for Emerson Trewick.
Yeah, we've seen flashes of that so far tonight in this first set. What Trewick can do, he's got a powerful arm coming off that left side.
Definitely great ball tracking abilities and the ability to adjust a bit of the air and bump. Bree Gilbert will be back for service. Wheaton currently down by 3. They've been hanging around so far with the number 4 team in the country. Gilbert will send it over, and there's going to be a service error on Gilbert.
Yeah, unfortunate timed mistake there to make from the service position, gifting a point to the Knights as they create a little bit more separation, trying to close out this first set on the road.
Vanderwag will take over for Calvin. Send it over. That'll be dug up by Stotts. Set up by Higgins. Sent over there by Major. I believe that one is going to be out. We're going to take a timeout here on the Wheaton side.
Yeah, it's a smart decision right there from Coach Schmidt, just to kind of get her team to refocus in this huddle as as Calvin begins to pull away a little bit. As you said, Wheaton, they obviously surrendered that early 4-0 lead, but from that point on, they've done well to kind of stem the tide of momentum that the Knights had developed, but now it feels like it just might be slipping out of the Thunder's grasp. We'll see how the rest of this set plays out.
Absolutely. There have been a few unforced errors on Wheaton's part. Definitely when you have a game like this, as much as both teams make unforced errors, it's really hard when you're playing number 4 team in the country. It's very little room for error on the Wheaton side.
Yeah, you have to be just about perfect to give yourself a chance to pull the upset in these situations, because you know, like you said, Calvin's not going to give you much to work with, and the Knights got off to a bit of a slow start, maybe some after effects of a difficult weekend that they had down in Kentucky, but they have really turned it up in the second half of this first set.
Absolutely. For good signs for the Thunder, they've definitely been playing better than they did against their opponent, Whitewater. At the end of that set, Wheaton ended up losing 3-0. So definitely signs of improvement here from the Thunder. (19-14) currently in Calvin's favor. Vanderwag will be back with the service for the Knights. We'll send it over. That's going to be dug up by Stotts. Set up by Higgins. Sent over by Major. And there's going to be a kill for number 9, Ashton Major.
Authoritative finish right there at the net from the junior. Got up, climbed the ladder well, and put it right back where it came from.
Trewick is going to take over on service, looking to stem the tide here for Wheaton. Dug out there by Calvin. Set up by DeVries. And that's going to be out on the Wheaton side. Bit of a sloppy play there for Calvin.
Coach Schmidt would have been looking for a response coming out of the last time out. Winning back-to-back points is a good start for the Thunder as they try to claw their way back into this set.
Trewick will send it over. That'll be dug out there by himself to Calvin. That's going to be a kill for the Calvin side.
That's exactly what the Knights needed as we get a look at this replay. Powerful finish right over the net. Major and Caps both in position, but not much you can do to stop the speed of that delivery.
I believe that was number 10, Naminga, on the side for Calvin. Be dug up by Trewick on the service. Sent over. Nice idea from Higgins. Calvin adjusts. Sent over by Martinez. Saved there by Trewick. Stott's going to have to send it over. It's going to be dug out by Calvin. Set up by DeVries. And there's going to be a block on the Wheaton end by Caps.
A little bit of deja vu here on this point as Vanessa Martins just gets up over the net and spikes it right down.
Unfortunately, block not going over the net, and it'll be a 21-16 advantage here for the Knights. Dug out there by Gabbert. Nice play there on the Calvin end by Vanderwag. And there's going to be another point for the Knights.
Really good game awareness these last couple points from the Knights. It's the second time that Lacey Higgins has tried to get cheeky with it and just scoop it over instead of setting it up for one of her teammates, and neither time Calvin has taken the bait.
Another one for Aaron Baker. As Wheaton adjusts, sending Jordan Benford into the game. First time we see her tonight.
Talented player on the wing for Wheaton. Good elevation, good power in her attacking. We'll see if she can add a little bit of offensive spark to this Thunder lineup.
Benford will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Calvin. Sent over by Martinez. And there's going to be a kill for Calvin. Vanessa Martinez sending a powerful spike over. Aubrey Roboul will be back for service for the Knights. Be sent over. That'll be dug out by Stotts. Set up there by player number 12, Paige Suerda. Sent back over again, and it's going to be Baker with another kill.
Very much in her groove right now, occupying that near corner here down below us.
And we're going to have a match point here for Calvin. Sent over, dug out by Stotts. Set up there by Suerda. And there's going to be a bit of a miscommunication there on the Wheaton side.
Yeah, disappointing into the set there for the Thunder, ending up dropping it by 9, but considering they won the first 4 points of the match, logged 16 against the number 4 team in the country, there's a little building block there for the Thunder early on. We'll see if they can come up with a response in set number 2.
Absolutely. Definitely a motivating start to the set. However, Wheaton was unable to keep it up, but there are definitely positive signs as we come in here to the second set.
We will step aside here for just about 2 minutes as the teams switch sides preparing for the second set. Come back and join us here in King Arena.
There's nothing wrong with staying on here during that break. It's just long enough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Nice job. You did well. It's good.
Yeah. Rusty. It's always hard at the opponent's name, trying to like fire them up.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
With the Dutch names, I mean, there's some tough pronunciation.
I know.
Not every team will be as tough.
Vanderwag is not as bad. It was this and Hope last year. I called a Hope
Oh,
game,
yeah.
and that was a lot.
For sure. Unfortunately, we play at their place this year. If we play at their place this year, don't have to worry about that. I would, all right, so you're saying Vanderwag, I would read that as
And welcome back for the second set here of this presentation of the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network between the Wheaton College Thunder and the Calvin Knights. Calvin taking the first set of this one, 25-16. Wheaton definitely showing some grit and hanging with Calvin. And so far, let's see if they can turn that momentum into a second set win here.
Yeah, Calvin very much building the momentum up there in the second part of that first set. They really pulled away, showed their authority to claim this first set here on the road. So they're finding their groove a bit, especially offensively. We'll see what kind of response the Thunder can come up with. The key is to not let your heads drop in this situation and just assume that the favored team's going to have their way.
Absolutely. So far for Wheaton, one of the key performers, Caroline Capps, has been on fire offensively, followed by Emerson Treywick. For Calvin, Alyssa DeVries will be on the service. DeVries will send it over. It'll be dug out by Stott, set up there by Higgins, sent over by Treywick. Nice diving stop there from Kellogg. Be sent back to the Wheaton side, set up by Higgins, sent over by Treywick, blocked there at the net, but recovered by Stott, sent over there by Major. Nice diving play from Ekins, and it's still going to be saved there for the Knights. Wheaton will recover. Treywick again, she'll send it over, but Calvin is able to save it, sent over there by the Calvin side. That'll be number 18, Eklaw, and Wheaton will finish off the volley.
And guess who applied the finishing touch? No surprise there, Capps with another kill. That point was an example of at first you don't succeed, try again. Wheaton struggling to break down that tough Calvin defense, and finally Capps had enough.
Good to see Wheaton coming out with some momentum. Treywick will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Martinez, sent over by Calvin. Nice save there by Higgins. Stott sending it over, set up, Martinez again. And Vanessa Martinez will get the kill for Calvin.
Yeah, Vanessa Martinez, obviously known for her blocking ability. We talked about how she leads the team in that category coming in, but she's definitely shown some offensive prowess so far in King Arena tonight as well.
Martinez will send it over. It'll be dug out there by Treywick, set up by Higgins, sent over by Capps, and that's going to be blocked at the rim. That'll be Ekblaw for Calvin.
That must feel pretty satisfying for the Knights. Capps has everything she's touched so far offensively has turned to gold, so that's a big momentum booster there for the Knights to finally deny her at the net.
Martinez will continue her service. Be sent over. That'll be set up by Treywick. Higgins, then Treywick again, and there's going to be a kill for Emerson Treywick.
Hard to see on the replay if that. My initial instinct was that actually landed out of bounds. I wonder if a Calvin player. No, I think it did touch the line. I didn't know if a Calvin player got a touch on the way through, and that's why they gave the point to Wheaton. Perfect
nice placement there. Major will send it over. That'll be dug up by Roboul, and Roboul with the errant dig, and it'll go to Wheaton.
Not easy to fall down 2 points at the start of a set, especially to a strong team like Calvin's. This has been a good response from the home side.
Major will send it over. Calvin scrambling to recover. They're going to have to send it over on this one. Wheaton set up here. Higgins, 2 Capps, and that's going to be another kill. I believe, that is Faith Bailey on the other side.
Good reverse set there from Higgins, trying to fake out the Calvin front line and work to perfection. Faith Bailey applying the finish.
Based on this night, I was just assuming Caroline Capps. Sent over by Major. That'll be dug up by Roboul. Set up there. That's going to be number 10, Naminga. Oh, there we go. And Naminga will get the kill.
Yeah, beautiful little two-handed touch to the back corner. Bree Gilbert will be disappointed in herself for not covering that area, but that's just an excellent finishing touch.
Steer on the service as Wheaton still has a 4-3 lead here in the early goings. Steen will send it over. Be dug out there by Treywick, set up by Higgins, sent over by Capps. It's going to be blocked back to the Wheaton side. Capps will try again. That's going to be put up there by Baker, sent over to the Wheaton side. Stotts will recover it. That's going to have to be sent over by Higgins. Dug out by DeVries, sent back over by Baker, and there's going to be the rejection for Faith Bailey.
Yeah, sophomore skying up at the net. That's good defense right there from Bailey, and Higgins was also in the area. At that point, it would have been fun to have a ball tracker on that point. It felt like the ball was pinging to every corner of the court. Good intensity from both sides.
Lee Higgins will send it over. That's going to be dug out there from Steen. Sent over. Higgins will set up Gilbert. Set on the Calvin side. Be sent over by Baker, and that's going to be nice placement from Calvin's leading scorer here, Aaron Baker.
Yeah, how many touches have we seen like that from her tonight? No power on it, really, just floating it to the opposite side of the court where the gaps appeared.
Number 19, Vanderswag will be here on the service. Wheaton still with a 5-4 lead. Vanderswag send it over, and that's going to be straight into the net for a service error as Wheaton expands the lead to 6-4.
This point feels like a big one right here. If the Thunder can capitalize on that mistake and go up by 3, they'll give themselves a chance here early on in the second.
Caps sending it over, and there's going to be a service ace for Caroline Caps.
Perfectly placed right there from the junior. Not always known for her serving ability, but she made that look easy.
As Wheaton opens a 7-4 lead. Caps back on the service. Just send it over. That'll be dug out by Calvin, sent over by Baker. Nice play to keep that intact by Caps. Set up on the other side. It'll be number 10, Namegum. Sent over by Caps. And Caroline Caps. Who else? Another kill.
That was the most do-it-all-yourself point I've seen so far in a volleyball match this season. Caroline Caps, defense to offense,
and
putting
Calvin
the team on her back.
Has seen enough. They're going to take a timeout with Wheaton opening up an 8-4 lead here.
Yeah, and her teammates understandably going over to give her some loving shoves right there, congratulate her. That was a heck of an effort from Caroline Caps to not only keep it alive for Wheaton, but then to translate that into a kill on the other end. And Calvin, after getting the first 2 points of this set, have faded a little bit. Wheaton coming up with a strong response as the home side.
Absolutely, and so far Wheaton has looked much more in sync coming out than they did at the end of the first set. Better communication.
Yeah, they'll obviously be hoping to avoid the way that first set unfolded again here in the second, but regardless of how it plays out, Coach Schmidt has to be very pleased with the team's response and energy so far. They have not let their heads drop.
Absolutely. Wheaton trying to take advantage of this potential trap game here for Calvin. Coming off the heels of playing 2 ranked opponents, then facing the Thunder. We'll start with the ball again. Previously 8-4. Caps will continue her service here. Caps, send it over. It's going to be set up there by Vanderwag, sent over. And that's going to be a kill for Calvin. I believe it was Baker.
Aaron Baker saying anything Caroline Caps can do, I can do as well. This is turning into a 1v1 battle between the hitters for either team.
2 leading scorers coming into this. Aubrey Roboul will send it over for Calvin. That'll be dug out there by Stotts, set up by Higgins, punched over by Treywick. Calvin regroups, will send it over with Martinez, and Vanessa Martinez will get the kill for the Knights.
Treywick with a good adjustment at the net to keep that play alive, but Calvin was determined not to let Wheaton have a second bite at the cherry. That's a powerful finish from Martinez.
Roboul looking to go on a run here for the Knights as Wheaton has an 8-6 lead. We'll send it over. That'll be dug out by Stotts. See if they can recover this, but it'll be a tough play there for Wheaton.
Calvin have done very well tonight coming out of timeouts. They don't usually let Wheaton have the momentum for too long coming out of these stoppages. Much needed adjustments here from Coach Warner's side.
Roboul will continue. See if she can go on a run. They'll be sent over. Nice dig there by Stotts. It's going to have to be sent over by Gilbert. Dug out by Roboul. Set up there for Baker. And Baker, another kill for the leader here for Calvin.
Yeah, if the Thunder want to win this second set, as we see Coach Schmidt take a timeout, they got to find an answer for Aaron Baker right now. She is doing it all offensively for the Knights.
Absolutely, as the lead has evaporated and it is now another 8-8 tie here. What we've seen so far from Calvin, there are certain players like Aaron Baker that can just put the team on their back and absolutely bring them on a run.
Yeah, for the most part, it's been the team succeeding for Calvin so far. There hasn't been that one standout player through the first set at least, but as you said, Aaron Baker is now becoming that star player, and her and Caroline Caps have been right at the center of attention here so far in this second set.
Absolutely, for the Calvin side, her and Martinez getting in on the action. See if Wheaton can formulate him a response.
This is a fun stretch for the Thunder to open the season. Obviously, they just had that tournament up in Whitewater, but they come again right back here in 24 hours to face Wisconsin Lutheran tomorrow evening. Then they start conference play, kind of an awkwardly placed match up in Rock Island against Augustana next week. And then after that, they obviously come back here and host their annual Maryland Scribner Invitational. So this is a good period of experimentation for head coach Stephanie Schmidt. See what this team is capable of.
Absolutely. Roboul will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Stott, sent over by Treywick. Dug out by Roboul again. Set up for Baker. Baker will get another kill there here for the Knights.
Rinse and repeat right now for Aaron Baker. Quite a performance we're seeing from the sophomore.
In the second half, Calvin has now opened up a 9-8 lead. Roboul, then on a run, will send it over. Stotts with the dig, and there's going to be an errant dig from Stotts.
Aubrey Rubel making things difficult for Wheaton from the service position right now.
Rubel will be back on the service. Continuing her service now. A 10-8 lead here for the Knights. We dug out there by, I believe that was number 11, Grace Autry. There'll be a bit of an errant dig here on the Wheaton side. Only Wheaton looking to regroup. Rubel will be back in for the service. She'll send it over. We dug out there by Autry, set up by Higgins, sent over by Bailey. They got on the Calvin side. Martinez will send it over. Nice play there by Gilbert. Higgins will send it over to Caps, and Caps with the kill and the momentum stopper here for Wheaton.
What I've been impressed with Caps' performance so far offensively, it's not just that she's been ruthless with her kills, she's doing it from all over the court. It's an efficient performance so far, whether it's at the net or farther behind on the court.
Faith Bailey will be here on the service. She'll send it over. We dug out there by Calvin, set up, Baker again, and back to the bread and butter so far in the second set for Calvin, Aaron Baker.
Yeah, you said it. That's a tried and true formula here in this second for the Knights. It makes sense that they're continuing to go to that rich vein of form that we're seeing from Aaron Baker.
Number 11, Avery Ekins will take the service here for the Knights. Ekins will send it over. We dug out by Treywick, a little bit of an errant dig. Caps will cover. She'll send it over. They'll be dug up by Martinez at the net, and Wheaton's going to get a much-needed point here.
Haven't called Ashton Major's name too many times so far tonight, but that was a great defensive play, just stuffing the ball at the net.
Absolutely, a much-needed play for the Wheaton side, as it is now 10-12 deficit for the Thunder. Gilbert will send it over, and there's going to be an errant serve.
This is right around the part of the first set where Calvin really started to pull away and assert their dominance, create some daylight between them and the Thunder. We'll see if they can do it again or if Wheaton is a little bit better prepared this time around.
DeVries will take over on service here for Calvin. She'll send it over. That'll be dug out by Stotts. Set up by Higgins. Sent over to Treywick. And Treywick with the much-needed response.
I felt the pain of that one all the way up here. You could just hear the impact she made with that ball. Calvin did not stand a chance defensively. I admire Avery Ekins for trying to get in the way of it, but that was always going to be a point for Treywick.
Treywick sends it over. That's going to be dug out there by Ekins. Sent over by Calvin. I believe that was number 18, Ekblock, on the kill. With a 14-11 lead, Martinez will take over here on service for the Knights. We'll send it over. That'll be dug out there. And a bit of an errant dig there for Treywick.
And Calvin have managed the pressure that Wheaton has put on them early on really well in this match. Only a couple of times have Wheaton been able to string 2 or 3 points together in a row. Calvin not letting this home crowd get into the game, just keeping Wheaton at arm's length in this second set.
Wheaton struggling to build momentum here, and that's going to help, though, as Martinez will serve it into the net.
We'll see as Ashton Major drops back to serve if the Thunder can build any offensive momentum as they look to come back to tie this one.
Major We'll send it over, and that's going to be an error and serve.
Yeah, Wheaton just being a little bit sloppy from the service position so far in this second set. Haven't been able to land as many of these in as we saw in the first, gifting Calvin these points.
Stotts will come back for the junior major. Number 7, Jordan Steen, take over service here for Calvin. Looking to build on their 16-12 lead. Steen will send it over. That'll be dug up by Stott. Sent over by Higgins. Recovered there by Calvin pretty nicely. Sent over. A diving bid by Stott, but that's not going to be good enough for the kill from Ekblad.
Yeah, Wheaton leaving that big gap in the center right portion of the court right there defensively, and excellent exploitation there from Ekblad.
Steen, continuing service. Calvin opening up a lead here, and there's going to be a service error on Steen. Much needed point there as it's 17-13.
Calvin, a generous program, figured they return the favor there, let Wheaton get a chance to serve once again.
Absolutely. And another number 7 will take over service. This time it'll be Lacey Higgins. Higgins will send it over. Sent over the other side by Nangum, and that's going to be a nice play there from who else? Aaron Baker on the Calvin side.
We talked about Caroline Kapp's versatility. Aaron Baker, right when she seems to be favoring more of a power delivery, going with the strong right arm, she once again brings back the soft touch to the opposite side of the floor, and we'll get another timeout for the Thunder here.
Absolutely. Wheaton here struggling to build momentum. They've had some good volleys so far, but it seems like every time they've tried to build something, Calvin has been right there with a response.
Good crowd here in King Arena, which is good to see for this home opener for the Thunder. I was here a couple of years ago when Wheaton opened the 2021 season against Calvin. Calvin coming out with an easy 3-0 sweep in that one. There was a gulf in quality. Never really looked like the Thunder were competitive in that match. So it's been good to see, even if they do end up dropping this second set, Wheaton coming out with a point to prove here against a really highly ranked national opponent.
Absolutely. With some of these games, it's good to remember what the standards are and what is considered success against such a good team. And so far, even though Wheaton hasn't gotten a set, they've been competitive in all of them.
Talked about the Calvin's ability coming out of timeout so far tonight. This has been where they've excelled and not really let the Thunder make their way back into the contest. We'll see if Wheaton can come up with a response this time around, or if it's going to be same old from the Knights.
Absolutely. Vanderswag will continue the service here for the Knights. Currently holding an 18-13 lead. Wheaton looking to stem the tide. Vanderswag will send it over. That'll be dug out by Benford. Set up by Higgins. Sent over by Capps. Dug there very nicely by Calvin. Bailey will send it back over. That'll be Gilbert. Rejected there at the net by Calvin. Sent over by Capps. And the soft delivery gets them. Caroline Capps yet again.
She went with the power on the first time and then switched sides of the court and just delivered the soft, feathery touch right over the two Knights players jumping at the net. That was a high-quality, experienced play from Caroline Capps, who's now on service duty for Wheaton.
That'll be her 7th serve of the night so far. Capps will send it over, and there's going to be a service error on Capps.
And Junior will be disappointed with that one. The star of the show offensively for the Thunder so far tonight.
Roble will take over service for the Knights. 19-14 here. Looking to put this one away. Send it over. That'll be dug out there by Capps. Nice play by Higgins, but it's not going to be good enough, as it'll be 20-14. Over tough angle on the hands for Wheaton, as Roble will set up for service again. Send it over. That's going to be dug out by Stotts. And Stotts cutting in front of Capps. An unforced error for Wheaton.
Yeah, not the first time we've seen a little bit of defensive miscommunication. You can't blame Stotts for going for that ball or Capps for standing there, but it's just one of those fundamental errors that helps gift Calvin a point.
Roble be on the service. She'll send it over. Dug out there by Stotts. And there's going to be another one dig. This will be a 22-14 lead. Calvin starting to pull away.
Yeah, once again, the middle of the set proving to be the clutch time for the Knights to step up and kind of exert their authority on proceedings, not letting Wheaton make this thing interesting down the stretch as they now have an 8-point lead.
Rubel will send it over, and there's going to be a service error and a nice respite for Wheaton.
Rare mistake from the service position for Aubrey Rubel so far. She's been excellent in that position tonight for the Knights.
Faith Bailey will take over, looking to create some momentum here for the Thunder, down 22-15. Bailey will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Steen, and there's going to be another kill for Calvin.
I think that was Vanessa Martinez this time getting the finishing touch. It's been the 1-2 punch of her at the net and Erin Baker on the far side really doing the damage offensively for Calvin.
Not a ton of the hard kills coming for Calvin, but a lot of the soft touches at the net and the blocks over on the other side that have created a lot of the points here for Calvin. Ekins will be here on service. Looking to put this one further in the bag. Ekins will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Gilbert. Trawick will send it over, but it's not going to quite reach the net. But more miscommunication there on the Wheaton side.
It's good hustle from both Higgins and Trawick to try to keep that alive, and Trawick almost came up with the impressive flick back across the net, but it wasn't to be. Set point now for Calvin.
Ekins looking to put this one away here and put Calvin up 2-0. Send it over. That'll be dug out by Caps. Set up there by Higgins. Sent over by Major, and there's going to be a nice kill for Ashton Major.
I want to see the replay on this one because it was hard to tell exactly if that was intentionally where she meant to do it. It almost looked up here like it kind of came off in an accidental way from her hand, but we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Nice little scoop finish there off the hand.
Looking like she was adjusting on the fly there. We have another stoppage of play here.
If ever Wheaton needed a moment to catch their breath, it's after a good point following a long Calvin run. We'll see if they can get any more on the board here before it looks like Calvin's going to take up this second set.
Gilbert will be on the service here, looking to keep things alive for Wheaton. We'll send it over. That'll be dug out by Vanderswag, and there's going to be a miscommunication between Rubel and number 21 Kellogg.
Sports Information Director Extraordinaire Brett Marhenka having to look lively on the sideline. Decided
Absolutely.
against reaching out for that ball.
Yeah, someone else can get it. Gilbert will send it directly into the net.
That's an anticlimactic way for this set to end. Calvin was probably going to take it anyway with the big lead that they had built up, but it's too bad to see Wheaton's rally attempt to end like that. So the Knights up 2-0 now, and Dominic, you got to admit this one has ended up kind of playing out how we expected it to, but we've seen some bright spots for the Thunder tonight. There have been a few series that have really impressed.
A bit. Definitely good starts coming in for Wheaton. They've come out hot, but unfortunately they haven't been able to sustain that momentum as Calvin has shown how good of a team they are, getting light taps at the net, getting blocks, and Erin Baker absolutely dominant. 11 kills currently on the game. Second for them is Vanessa Martinez, who has the same amount as Caps. So,
that's kind of hard to believe. No, I don't mean that to be disrespectful to Martinez. She's been excellent tonight. But Caps, if you had told me she'd had 12, I'd believe you because it feels like she's everywhere for Wheaton so far tonight.
I know. Quite a testament to how Erin Baker absolutely took over in the second half. Being said, until 2 minutes, we will have another break and stay with us to see the third set.
Fifth, 6-1, 6-4, 6-4. In FIBA World Cup action, the United States being needed at 163. And in cricket action, at the Rachel Hales Wheaton Trophy Memorial Tournament, defending champion Northern Diamonds took a tough loss to the former two-time winner Southern Vipers, despite a fantastic effort from star bowler Mary Taylor. The Diamonds will still be in the tournament, though, and have a chance to come back around and defend their title. Go Diamonds!
Jordan Benford will start with the service here in this third set here at King Arena. Send it over, Rubel with the dig. Set up there for number 21 Kellogg. Nice dig there from Capson. Over by Benford again. Set up there. Kellogg, another over, and Kellogg will get the kill.
Powerful finish there from Calvin's number 21, the senior out of Belleville, Michigan, putting the authority down as the Knights look to start strong in this set. Wheaton have had the early advantage in both of the preceding two. We'll see if Calvin can kind of start hot in number 3.
Jasmine Suroy, the sophomore, will check in here for Calvin. There's the dig by Sotz, sets up Treywick, sends it over, blocked there. And that'll be an error on Wheaton as Calvin will take the point. Calvin will have service here. Be number 6 DeVries. Sent over, set up by Benford. Higgins will send it over to Major. Nice play there by Calvin to keep it alive, and that's gonna fall in for Calvin.
That was a remarkable effort right there at the net for Calvin to keep that alive, and the reverse finish there from Vanessa Martinez, just showing off with going over the head, placing it perfectly in the back corner. I don't think Wheaton can be too disappointed with a play like that. Not much you can do.
Coach Schmidt will take a timeout nonetheless.
Wheaton have won the race to 4 points in the first 2 sets tonight. They're going to have their work cut out for them if they want to keep that streak alive. Calvin not messing around at the start of this third.
So far, they're going to have to take notes from Calvin to see how they can battle back and get back into this one.
As I mentioned a little while earlier on the broadcast, Wheaton with another non-conference test here tomorrow night against Wisconsin Lutheran. I think we expect that one to be a bit more competitive on the scoreboard. Wisconsin Lutheran not coming in highly ranked like this Calvin program, but certainly a good learning experience. And this Wheaton roster is a fun blend of youth and experiences we were talking about at the top of the broadcast. We'll see how this team can gel a little bit more as the season continues. Coach Schmidt earning some early lessons here from this program.
Absolutely. So currently no seniors on the Wheaton roster, so everyone will be back next year. This year will be an opportunity for players to continue to gel together. For 6, Elisa DeVries will be on the service. Calvin looking to expand their lead. DeVries will send it over. It'll be dug out there by Stotts. Nice dig to send it back over to the Calvin side. They'll set up Kellogg, and there's going to be a nice kill there for Gabriella Kellogg.
Well, a little miscommunication there. It looked as though I think the head judge on the net overruled the linesman there, or put his flag up to suggest that it was out of bounds. Coach Schmidt was looking for a brief explanation on that call. Either way, a good placement there just to apparently catch the end of that back line.
Absolutely. Calvin will send it over, and there's going to be an error service for DeVries. And Wheaton will get their first point of the set. Wheaton definitely hoping to take advantage of the unforced error. Treywick will send it over on the serve. Will be dug out there by Calvin, sent over by Suvoy. Caps with the kill, and Caroline Caps continues to kill it here in the third set.
Hadn't called her name so far in this one, but she reminded us of the quality we've been seeing all night. That's a powerful finish right there from the junior.
Absolutely getting Wheaton here on the board, cutting the deficit. This will be sent over by Kellogg, set up by Benford. Higgins will send it over to Caps, and Caroline Caps yet again with another kill.
It almost seemed like the whistle blew before that ball even hit the ground. We were so sure it was going to be a successful kill for Caroline Caps, putting it right over the head of the defending Calvin opponent.
It's like the referees have seen it before, and hopefully they will continue to see it. Treywick will send it over. That'll be dug out there by number 11, Ekins, sent over by Kellogg. Sets up Higgins to Major, and Major will get the kill as Wheaton ties it up here in the third set.
Looked like a Calvin defender just tipped it on its way over the, definitely a block attempt at the net there, spinning out of play. That's a big point for the Thunder to level it up here early in the third.
Treywick will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Calvin, sent over by Martinez, and that's going to be a kill for Vanessa Martinez.
And she just keeps popping up every few points to remind the Thunder of what they're dealing with, especially near the net. Listed at 5'11", one of the taller players on the court right now, and she drops back to serve now for the Knights.
Total of 8 kills here in the game. And that'll be a service error on Martinez as Wheaton will tie it up again. Astra Major looking to build momentum here for the Thunder. She'll send it over. That'll be dug out there by Ekins, sent over by Savoy, and that's going to be blocked. Who else? It's Caroline Caps.
I think the referee actually ruling that one went out of bounds. It almost looked successful from up here at first. It almost looks like Caps was celebrating that. Maybe it was a little bit of gesture of frustration there with it just falling outside of the line, but either way, good effort there from the junior at the net.
Well, definitely a difficult call here. As Calvin adds to the lead, it's going to be 6-5. Calvin will send it over with Steen. Higgins will set up Caps, and that's going to be out.
Yeah, Caps determined to make up for the missed block attempt, but couldn't quite land that one in bounds. A little bit of cooling off of the momentum for the talented junior as Calvin opens up a 2-point lead here in the third.
Steen will continue her service, looking to build on the 7-5 lead here. Send it over. That'll be dug out by Stott. Diving bid by Higgins, but it's not going to be good. It's going to be an 8-5 lead here for Calvin.
Not an easy save attempt there from Grace Autry as she went down to dive with one hand to try to keep that in play.
Steen, continuing the service, she'll send it over. Dug out there by Autry, sent over by Higgins. Set up there by Calvin, tapped over by Becker. Sent over Benford, and a little bit of a miscommunication there, but Treywick sends it over. Diving bid by Steen. Looked like that was going out anyway, but Wheaton will take the point.
Yeah, Coach Schmidt with a big smile on that face, giving her team a well-deserved round of applause. That's the first time that we've seen a miscommunication actually work out in Wheaton's favor as they were able to dig that point out. That was impressive effort from the Thunder.
Lacey Higgins will take over, send it over. That'll be dug out there by Calvin, sent over by Becker, saved at the net. That's going to have to be sent over by Savoy. Autry with the save. Caps will send it over, and Caroline Caps back into the kill column here for Wheaton.
I mean, she's not even giving the Calvin defenders a chance on some of these. Look at the velocity on that, just angled right down at the floor. That's so hard to try to get underneath that to keep it alive. Excellent finish once again from Caps.
Her 10th kill of the game here for Caps. Higgins will send it over. That'll be dug out there by Rubel. Set up by DeVries. Be dug out there by Higgins. Sets up Autry for Caps. Blocked at the net That's going to be number 10, Naminga, on the block here for Calvin.
And that's the answer that the Knights needed right there, to reject Caps at the net right as she was catching fire once again for Wheaton.
Wheaton still keeping it close. 7-9 contest here in the third set. Be Ekbla on the service, dug out by Caps, sets up Higgins, back to Caps for the kill attempt. That's going to be dug out by Rubel, sent over by Becker, and Becker with another cross net light touch to get the kill.
Wonderful placement once again from Calvin's number 5, Aaron Baker, just skying up above the net here on the near sideline this time and putting it right where no Wheaton defender could reach it.
Vanderswa is back here for the service. Caps will send it over with a light touch, and Caroline Caps will get the kill. Different from the last two, but with the soft touch.
Yeah, showing some versatility, as you said, shaking it up on the style of finish here. I wonder if Calvin were just caught off guard by that approach. It certainly was a successful one.
Facing an 8-10 deficit, Caps will send it over, and there's going to be an errant serve for Caroline Caps.
Service accuracy, definitely a room for improvement for the Thunder, at least so far tonight, as Coach Schmidt maybe looks to tighten that up here in future weeks. But even with that, only being down by 3 to this Calvin team.
Rubel, the dominant server here, will send it over. He dug out there by Treywick. Sent over by Bailey. Nice placement, but a good save by Baker. Sent over by Martinez. Dug out there by number 5 on Wheaton, Gilbert. And that's going to end in a point for Calvin.
Yeah, Bree Gilbert trying the vertical approach right there. Rejected well at the net by a combination of Calvin defenders.
Rubel will be back. It's going to be dug out there by Treywick. Sets up Higgins. Treywick again, and there's going to be great placement for Emerson Treywick.
That was a stylish one-handed shovel approach there on the far side, just to punch it into that empty space in the back corner.
Grace Autry will take over here on service. Wheaton facing 12-9 deficit. It's going to be dug out there by Vanderswag, sent over by Baker, sets up Caps for Higgins, sent over by Treywick. Dug out there. Calvin sent it over, rejected at the net there by Wheaton, sent over by Major, set up again for Martinez. Nice dig there from Higgins. It will be sent over by Autry, and Autry with the errand send.
I said early on in the broadcast, I think it was about the 5th point of the match, that I wasn't sure we'd see a more competitive rally. That one gives it a run for its money. That was great effort from both teams, even with the disappointing finish for Wheaton.
Absolutely, Wheaton still hanging in tough. 13-9 now is the deficit, with Ekins on service here for the Knights. Ekins will send it over. That'll be dug out by Caps. Sets up Higgins. Caps will send it over, rejected by a number of Calvin players. Higgins with the save attempt. Nice bid by Treywick to send it back over. And another diving block there, but Autry unable to send it over as Calvin will take the point.
Autry doing really well just to get her hands underneath that one. That had plenty of power coming off her, and Caps both diving in at the same time, as you see there on the replay. Unsuccessful, but good effort right there from the sophomore.
Only the Thunder laying it all out on the court tonight. Calvin with the service. It'll be Ekins. Higgins will set up Gilbert there. Sets for Calvin. And there's going to be an errant kill attempt by Martinez. Didn't quite have the right angle. I believe that was a block.
Yeah, it may have come off the side of her hand there. A rare mishit on the kill attempt for Martinez, who's had a very efficient performance tonight for Calvin.
Jordan Benford, the sophomore, will come in for service here. Wheaton still down by 4. Only that's going to be dug out there by Calvin. DeVries will set up number 11 Ekins, and that's going to be out for Ekins as Wheaton will take the point.
Good aerial judgment here. I believe it was Caps on the back line for Wheaton. We've seen a few times where the Thunder have elected to keep it in play. This time they got it right, letting it go out for the easy point, not taking a risk.
Benford will send it over. It's going to be dug out by Rubel. And Rubel with an errant dig. And Wheaton starting to build some momentum here in the third set.
Once again, a great response from the home team, refusing to lie down and accept easy defeat. They're really making Calvin work for it tonight.
Benford looking to continue her run here. She'll send it over. That'll be dug out there by Vanderswag. Sent over by number 21 Kellogg, but that'll be out, and Wheaton will gain another point.
Yeah, Gabriella Kellogg coming off from the side of the court, trying to generate some momentum by stepping into that kill attempt and just put it long. Another point for the Thunder.
Benford will send it over. That'll be dug out by Rubel. Set up there. Kellogg will send it over for Calvin. Benford, Higgins sent over by Treywick, and there's the kill for Emerson Treywick.
More heat coming off of it on the far side for Treywick, and head coach Amber Warners has seen enough. Wheaton's longest run of the night with 4 straight points. This has been quite a response, or actually 5. They've won 5 points in a row now. Great response from the hosts.
A tie game here in the third set, 14-14. We see a bit of role reversal now. Initially, Wheaton coming off with a hot start and Calvin climbing back. Now we see the reverse here with Wheaton showing some tenacity.
Yeah, this third set definitely seems to be going against the script of the first two, as you implied right there. We'll see if the Thunder can keep up this momentum coming out of the timeout. I've said it a couple of times. The Knights have really excelled in this position, taking well-timed timeouts to kind of stem the Thunder's momentum. We'll see if that plays out again.
Yes, and taking a set here would be huge for the Thunder, regardless of the ultimate outcome. It'll show that Wheaton will be able to at least hang with some of these better teams.
Our music DJ extraordinaire, John Panner, assistant men's basketball coach, rolling out the tunes tonight, playing Pump It Up right now, trying to get this sizable home crowd into the game, and I think they will be even more so if the Thunder can win these next couple of points and take a lead here in the third.
We'll see if Wheaton's able to pump it up on their side. Benford with Wheaton and Calvin tied currently. Will give the service. She'll send it over. That's going to be dug out there by Ekin. Sent over, and there's going to be a kill for Gabriella Kellogg.
Once again, the Knights winning a point coming out of the timeout. Kellogg made an attack error, mishit a couple of minutes ago. She corrects the record this time. Big point right there for the visitors.
DeVries will look to build a lead here for Calvin. Send it over. That'll be dug out by Autry. Higgins sets up for Major on the other side, and there's a kill for Ashton Major.
Excellent power, of course, on the finish, but I would argue that the footwork was just as good. Look at that mid-air adjustment from Major. She skies up to drop that one in the back corner.
Ranging to the opposite side. Often that ball can drift, so great placement there by Major. Treywick will send it over. That'll be dug out by Rubel. DeVries sets up Savoy, and Savoy unable to bring it over the net. And Wheaton for the first time in this set will take a lead here, 16-15. Treywick set up here on service. Send it over. That'll be dug out, and that's going to be an Aaron dig and an ace for Treywick.
Haven't seen many service aces from the Thunder tonight. That one could not have come at a better time. Great delivery from Emerson Treywick to throw off the Calvin reception.
Treywick will send it over again. That'll be dug out there by Ekins. Calvin trying to send it over. Caps will control it. Higgins sent over by Caps, and there's another kill for Caroline Caps.
I wondered if Caps was wrong to keep it alive instead of putting it right back over at the first time of asking, but boy, did she prove that she was right there with a powerful finish. Wheaton firmly with the momentum here in the third now.
18-15 here. Wheaton looking to continue to build momentum. Emerson Treywick to continue her service. She'll send it over. We dug out by Martinez. Set up for DeVries. Sent over. Caps with the save. Higgins. Caps with the light tap. Looking to fall in no man's land, but Calvin's able to save it. And Calvin will get the kill, stemming the tide.
Emma Ekblaw there on the far side. That's an important touch, just to shovel it into Caps' shoulders. Not really much the junior could do defensively to keep that one alive for Wheaton.
Calvin, knowing their reputation, is not going to give up without a fight. Martinez will send it over. That's going to be dug out there by Treywick. Higgins will set it up for Benford. Benford will send it over and get her first kill of the game.
Haven't seen the power on full display yet from Jordan Benford, but she showed it right there, dead center of the court, and just pushes it down. No chance for Calvin defensively.
Key part of the offense last year as a freshman. Major will send it over. That'll be dug out by Rubel. Set up on the Calvin side, sent over, and that's going to be number 18, Ekblaw.
That's a much-needed response right there. Ekblaw once again coming up with that answer for her team as Calvin looks to get back in front here in the third and close out a sweep.
Jordan Steen looking to close the gap here with Wheaton. Wheaton looking to stay alive and push this to a fourth set. Steen. Send it over. That'll be dug out by Benford. Sends up Higgins. Caps going over. Blocked at the net. Treywick gonna have to set up Caps again with the light tap. That'll be a nice dig there from DeVries. Sent over by Baker. And Baker's gonna get the deflection on off bounds. Offsides.
That was Lacey Higgins right there at the net, elevating well above the net to get a touch on it, but just couldn't keep it in bounds.
Steen will continue her service. So send it over. That'll be dug out by Treywick. Sets up Caps over the other side, and that's going to be blocked by Ekblaw. And then it's a tie game here in the third set.
Emma Ekblaw, the difference maker for Calvin in this third set, really putting the team on her back, making sure that they can stay in this thing, not giving the advantage back to Wheaton.
Steen looking to continue to build momentum. That's going to be dug out by Treywick. Sets up Higgins. Caps on the other side. That'll be dug out by Rubel. Sent over by the Calvin side. Sets up again. And there's going to be a nice send over by Lacey Higgins.
That's the fourth time we've seen her try that tonight. In this one, it comes off to perfection. Beautifully timed right there from Higgins to catch off the Calvin line.
Wheaton hitting the 20-point mark for the first time tonight here. As Higgins will set up for the service. She'll send it over, and that's going to be dug out. Bit of a dive, but blocked at the rim by Wheaton. And there's going to be a little bit of a difficult ball to handle for the Wheaton side, as it'll be a tie game.
Yeah, Higgins just wasn't quite far enough back underneath the ball to keep that alive as she jumped up to save it, but
20-20 here. As Vanderswag will send it over. Be dug out there by Treywick. Sets up Higgins. Caps on the other side. That's going to be denied, but Autry can still send it back over. DeVries will set up Baker. Saved by Treywick. Autry is going to have to send it over again. Dug out there by Steen. Sets up Baker. And what do you know? It's Erin Baker for the Calvin lead.
14th kill of the night for Baker, and the kind of performance that she's having, you can't afford to give her more than one chance to bury that sort of delivery.
21-20 here. Calvin looking to put it away. Dug out by Treywick, and that's going to be Aaron Digg there for Treywick. It'll be 22-20.
Yeah, I think this is a good timeout right here from Coach Schmidt just to settle the nerves a little bit. Wheaton, we're clearly excited. They're 5 points away. They still are 5 points away from some program history, trying to take a set off this Calvin team for the very first time, and the Knights just kind of cooling their nerves on the other side. They're not sweating this late third set deficit. They've done really well to jump back in front here.
Absolutely. Wheaton looking to build momentum. They've been having a really, really good set, flipping the script on Calvin here, coming back in the middle, and off of a huge performance by Caroline Caps. 12 kills. Emerson Treywick follows with 8.
Emerson Treywick's delivering some instructions here to her teammates in the huddle, trying to pump them up, make sure they're still focused on pull the upset here in the third set. It would be a real achievement for this Wheaton team to take a set off the number 4 team in the country here, even playing on their home court. It's good turnout here on campus for this match. The home fans want to see some history here in King Arena.
Absolutely. Looking for an opportunity for the King Arena faithful to go nuts. Wheaton will take the court. As Vanderswag will set up for service. 3 points away from putting an end to this one. Vanderswag will send it over. It'll be dug out there by Autry. Sets Higgins for Caps, and that's going to be rejected, but under the net. A kill for Caroline Caps.
I believe that's kill number 45 on the season now for Caroline Caps. An excellent offensive start for the junior this year, and this time it's Wheaton with the big point out of the timeout.
Caps with the service, looking to tie it up. That'll be DeVries. Sets up Baker, and Baker with another devastating kill to bring it to 23-21.
Erin Baker set to play a starring role for this talented Calvin team as the season unfolds. She has come into King Arena and made it her own in some ways with a special performance.
Rubel will send it over, dug out by Autry. Higgins will set up Treywick right there, and Emerson Treywick with the kill.
Good response for her, having committed the reception error a couple of points ago to give Calvin a big point as Wheaton looks to tie this thing up at 23.
This set coming down to the wire. Grace Autry with the service, looking to bring it back to a tie game here. It'll be dug out there by Calvin. DeVries sets up Martinez, and Martinez will get the kill.
Perfectly timed finish right there from Martinez, both in the way that she jumped onto that ball to time that well, but also just in terms of when that's coming in the set to set up match point here for the Knights.
Knights looking to put this one away here. It'll be Ekins on the service. Wheaton looking to stay alive. Ekins will send it over. That'll be dug out by Caps. Higgins sets up. Treywick able to save it. Set over. And that'll be a Calvin point. Too many touches.
Yeah, unfortunate way for this one to end, but as we said a few times throughout the broadcast, you got to be pleased with the effort Wheaton to put forth here, especially in this third set. They really made it competitive and interesting.
Calvin wins this one 3-0, winning the final set 25-22. But some good signs here for the Thunder as they were competitive in all 3 sets.
Wheaton dropping to 1-3 on the season now, but I think this will be in some ways the easiest to swallow of the 3 losses they've suffered so far this year. And as we mentioned, they'll be back in 24 hours time to take on Wisconsin Lutheran here in King Arena for another non-conference test. We'll see if they can get back in the win column then.
And with that, we will see you then tomorrow night. I'm Dominic Brown along with Gabriel Woodwith saying so long from King Arena.